Hi, my name's Elsa and I've been learning Japanese for about 6 months of active learning time, over about 1.5 years, which is pretty fail, but anyway, you'll have to excuse this video. I've got a horrible cold right now, as you can probably hear. All my M's sound like B's and you know how it goes. Anyway, I'm an English student, which means that first and foremost I will absolutely be living in a box in 4 years. But it also means that I'm completely fascinated by languages and communication, and there's a lot of very interesting work for me by people like Saussure, which I won't go into right now because someone will quite rightly shoot me. But essentially, of course, all the meaning to words is completely arbitrary, and they all exist in a paradigmatic chain, which means that everything a word conveys is directly relational to all its other related words that exist within that language. I suppose a well-known example for English would be the word love, which we use as quite a blanket term. It covers a whole range of very different emotions, and other languages apparently have much more specific words, and I think that completely affects how we view and interpret love as native speakers. And I'm getting carried away with this terrible example, but my original point was that everything that we say and a lot of what we think is filtered through this preconceived structure, and you know, that inevitably tempers and moulds the way that you express yourself. And one of the wonderful things about learning Japanese is that you get to approach it from an entirely different perspective. Things like the grammatical priorities, they're all completely different, and that's lovely to have, or I assume that it would be were I able to cope with anything more complicated than there's a cat over there, or, you know. But from what I've seen from translating the occasional song lyric or recipe or whatever, it certainly seems to be the case. Anyway, speaking of recipes, another reason I want to learn Japanese is that I love Japanese food. Some of my Japanese recipe books here. I think I have something Japanese most days, for lunch probably, but it takes me quite a while to plough through the recipes, them being in Japanese, of course. And it would be pretty sweet to be able to get through them a bit faster and to understand a lot of the blurb and other parts of it. But yeah, my reasons for learning Japanese are not entirely philological or cultural, some of them practical as well. One of those being that at the dawn of the whole robots enslaving humanity apocalypse that we all know is coming, they probably will be manufactured by Sony, so it would seem prudent to be able to interpret the instruction manual, or at the very least to beg for my life. So yeah, there's obviously a lot more to it than that, but essentially my top 3 reasons for wanting to learn Japanese are to be understood, to eat, and to survive in a very different culture. And that's the crux of it.